themes that we've got coming out, and especially when it comes to the VA, all I can think of is that classic refrain that my parents always told me growing up, which is that if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
How dare you challenge me with your so-called kung fu? You don't have a chance.
Gee, who could have predicted that coming, right? Who could have predicted that the socialist morons, especially the dumbest one among them, would use the VA as evidence of a socialist utopia, and that the VA is the best example, and she wants to make the VA everybody's health care. Who could have predicted that? I told you so. It is a socialist program. And in fact, it is an American socialist program. But it's not broke, so don't fix it. And dumbass Trump, the amazing dipshit that he is, had to jump on it and say, yeah, thank you, AOC, for saying that the VA isn't broke. And it's not broke because I fixed it. You fucking moron. You should have just let her have it. Said, yeah, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Well, here's some evidence that it's fucking broke. I'm going to show you a few things, and this is where I get my evidence from. Let me ask you a question first. Let's start with this. Actually, you know what? No, let's go transition straight into these articles, because it's going to be fucking amazing. Alyssa Harrington took an audible breath as she slid open the closet door deep in her home office. This is where she displays what is too painful, too raw to keep out in the open. A framed photo of her younger brother, Justin Miller, 33-year-old Marine Corps trumpet player. Actually, if I was going to go into the Marines, I would have been a trombone player. Unfortunately, I have asthma and allergies, but yeah, whatever. And an Iraq war veteran. Blood-splattered, safety glasses recovered from the snow-covered Nissan Frontier truck where they found his body. A phone filled with the last text messages from his father, "We love you, we miss you, come home." He had real PTSD, not like these social justice bitches who think clicking is a solution to clapping because it triggers them. Oh my God, you fucking morons. I'd like to see you go through what a Marine's gone through and then tell me you have PTSD, you stupid. Anyways, as you can tell, this has irritated me ever so slightly. He suffered from PTSD and had suicidal thoughts. So when he went to go to the VA of Minneapolis in February of 2018, just last year, in fact, he spent 4 days in the mental health unit. Then he walked right out to his car, took his gun, and killed himself. The fact that my brother Justin never left the VA parking lot, it's infuriating. I'm going to get to the next one. A retired Marine colonel took his life at the Florida VA. He is 5th in line of vets to do so since 2013. This was in December of 2018. So the other guy killed himself in February of 2018. He is the 5th. He was a retired Marine colonel, put his dress uniform and his medals, drove to the Bay Pines Department of Veteran Affairs, got out of his truck, sat down on his military records, and blew his brains out with a fucking rifle. On the Hill. You want some horror stories of the VA? Only Congress can end the horror stories of the VA. Wow. AOC's in Congress, but it ain't broke. Don't fix it, right? Scroll down. Get off the face, you fucking... This is the Hill, of course. Go figure. So, now the horrifying details of yet another scathing report from the U.S. Department of Veteran Affairs Inspector General comes out. And this was in March of last year. So, February last year, somebody at Minneapolis blew his brains out in the parking lot of the VA. March, this report comes out. If Congress does not respond to the latest crisis with urgency required, we will predictably find ourselves in the same situation in the not-too-distant future. For the sake of our country, the veterans, we cannot allow this to happen. The latest IG report comes on the heels of a travel scandal involving the VA Secretary David Shulkin? Yeah. And the improper use of taxpayer dollars for travel. Yeah, so he went on vacation on our money when he should be helping veterans. As if this wasn't bad enough, we are now learning that through another IG report in Washington, D.C., VA Medical Center, that veterans were placed under anesthesia before hospital employees realized that they lacked the proper equipment to perform medical procedures. VA employees were then sprinted to private sector hospitals mid-surgery to borrow medical supplies. Knowing that we treated our brave men and women like this should make every American sick to their stomach. This was last year. It ain't broke, don't fix it. Botched surgery delayed. Motherfucker. Get out of my way. I ain't giving you shit. This is USA Today. Botched surgery delays the diagnosis at a 1-star House of Horrors VA hospital. A veteran with diabetes and poor circulation checked into the Memphis VA Hospital Center for a scan and possible repair of blood vessels in his right leg last year. But he ended up with a piece of plastic packaging that the VA providers mistakenly had embedded in his critical artery. Doctors didn't discover the 10 inches of tubing used by manufacturers to protect catheters for shipping and handling until the veteran had to have his leg amputated 3 weeks later. This was in 2017, just before somebody else killed themselves in the parking lot of the VA. 307,000 veterans may have died awaiting Veterans Affairs health care, report says. Why? CNN, you suck. This I did not need. Take your ads and go somewhere else. You're not worth the fucking money. But since we're a left-wing outlet saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, let's read what the CNN had to say about this. By the way, CNN, this was on 2015, when Obama was president. Of course, he could have fixed it too, right? Because he was dictator at the time. The president has all this dictatorial process and power. AOC wasn't in charge yet, thank fucking God. But if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Hundreds of thousands of veterans listed in the Department of Veteran Affairs enrollment system died before their applications for care were processed. The VA Inspector General found that out of about 800,000 records stalled in the agency system for managing healthcare enrollment, there were more than 307,000 records that belonged to veterans who had died months or years in the past. So here they are waiting for their medical prognosis, their treatment, whatever, and they fucking died because the VA didn't get to them. Blogs.va.com encouraging .gov actually. Ooh, I'm wrong again. Blogs.va.gov encouraging VA employees and veterans to speak up. Listen up, VA! Yeah, shut up. As a veteran, a VA patient, and a VA employee, and the son of 2 former VA employees, I have been affiliated with the VA in some form or another my whole life. As a veteran, I share an all too common story with many of my service brothers and sisters. While the VA helps thousands of veterans each day, some of us still walk away feeling shortchanged, and the news about the VA seems to confirm our negative experiences. If I'm being honest, the other VA employees I have not always felt empowered to speak up to leadership when faced with the problems or unethical activities. On the other side of the coin, leaders have not always listened or provided solution when employees do speak up. Why? Because it's a military encampment. It's a government-run policy. So there will be bureaucracy. There will be hierarchy. There will be a chain of command. It's military-based. So if you were to go speak up, speaking up to power, trying to put your little activism into this little shit, you fucking leftist, retard, socialist bitches, the people in charge say, fuck you. That's it. Anyways, on to the next one. The 7 most outrageous abuses at the VA medical centers. From the Fiscal Times, this was in 2014. So I'm going back to when the first suicide in the parking lot of the VA occurred. That they know of, anyways. A long-term mental health care facility in Brockton, Mass. neglected patients and let them languish for years without adequate attention or treatment. One veteran with 100% service-connected psychiatric condition lived in the facility from 2005 to 2013. Yet in all that time, he had only had one psychiatric's note written in his medical chart. In 2012, when he was first examined by a whistleblower. Skipping on, rampant problems with patient care existed in Jackson, Mississippi VA Medical Center, first revealed in 2013, that included improper credentialing of providers and inadequate review of radiology images, unlawful prescriptions for narcotics, non-compliant pharmacy equipment used to compound chemotherapy drugs, and unsterile medical equipment, according to the report. Yeah, that sounds like a place to go. Montgomery, Alabama, a healthcare provider specialized in the disease of respiratory tract, copped prior notes to represent current readings in over 1,200 patient records, likely resulting in inaccurate patient health information being recorded. Oh, I'm sorry. Copied. God, I can't read apparently either. I'm getting horrible. Okay, on to number 4. VA facility in Grand Junction, Colorado had elevated levels of Legionella bacteria in his drinking water. The bacteria can cause Legionnaire's disease, a potentially lethal pneumonia illness. Despite complaints, standard maintenance and cleaning procedures required to prevent bacterial growth were not performed. So, they had dirty fucking water that killed people at a VA center. Okay, next one. There was subpar patient care at the VA's facility in Little Rock, Arkansas, including one incident when suction equipment was unavailable when it was needed to treat a veteran who later died. In San Juan, Puerto Rico, nursing staff neglected elderly residents by failing to assist with essential daily activities such as bathing, eating, and drinking. They can't even manage to lift up a cup. And you're like, fuck you, do it yourself. Good job. That's a way to treat our veterans. But remember, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Healthcare professionals at VA facility in Buffalo, New York. Ooh, look at this. This one's in New York for you, AOC, you fucking moron. Did not always comply with sterilization standards for wearing personal protective equipment. The workers occasionally failed to place indicator strips in surgical trays and mislabeled sterile instruments. So, in closing, since I think I've made my point, I really hope I made my point. AOC, socialists, and the rest of you fucking retards. The VA is a dumpster fire. Oftentimes, the people at the VA, the veterans in particular, have to go to private, dare I say, capitalist systems to get proper medical treatment. Why? Because we regulated the fuck out of the medical center for private industry. However, our government doesn't have to comply with such regulations. Hence how you get unsterile equipment, having to rush people to an actual emergency room mid-surgery, putting tubes in people's fucking legs from the wrapping of the tube. Not even the fucking tube that should go there for your freaking catheter. No, the wrapping, the protective stuff, the 10-inch tubing that goes over the top of it when they ship it in his fucking leg. And then he had to have it cut off because they fucked up. And you're trying to tell me that the VA is not broke, so we shouldn't fix it? This is why, and I hope everybody gets this, you can use the VA against every fucking socialist in the United States. The VA is a socialist medical program. AOC just admitted to it. Thank you, Lord, she did something right. Because we can demonstrate demonstrably that there's only one medical facility or set of facilities in the entire United States where the patients go into the parking lot and fucking kill themselves because they can't get medical help. I hope that sinks in. I really do. If a patient seeking medical attention, medical help, is suicidal, and you don't lock his ass up into a room until he can deal with it, maybe get him on some medication so he's numb to the world, help him in psychiatric help. I mean, that's what we paid these motherfuckers for. And then he walks out 4 days later and just pops himself in the head. Why? Because no one's fucking helping him. The private sector would have helped him better than this shit. Anyways, obviously I'm very heated. I'm going to put all the links to every single one of these stories in the description. Have fun throwing this at AOC and everything that she just fucking said. And Trump, you dumbass son of a bitch, the VA is broken. Fix it.
Young fella, you're quite smart, but not smart enough for the likes of me.